What is up, everybody? Chris and the man
Yes, sir. It's Angel Houseman from Oinamas Podcast.
back with another episode of Monday Night Live. You know what I just realized?
What's that?
Not my free, but my paid version of Zoom has just ran out. So we are on a timer, and I don't know when that timer started. I'm just noticing the 40 minutes now. But
Okay.
yeah, if something goes wrong, we will be right back soon, really quickly, and get to that. But yeah, in this episode, we're going to be talking about our no edit podcast, video podcast. Let's be real specific, video podcast workflows. I've been using Ecamm since its inception in 2020. Um, and yeah, it changed my life. Honestly, it made me switch my whole career up. I was doing UX design before it. And once I switched over to Ecamm, I was like, holy crap, like I can deliver like TV level entertainment just with my laptop. You get me? Just with plugging in webcams, and it blew my mind how accessible it was, and I just saw a culmination of like all of my talents from like branding and just like thought processes of like user experience and design just culminated in that, where I could create, templates for presentations, and I could think about the user end experience of like watching and enjoying a show. And that really just took me down this path of just live production and live to tape production. um but yeah, I know, Angel, you started, Oinomas podcast for different reasons. I know before then you were, not only doing the podcast, but you were vlogging as well. What
Yeah.
kind of got you into the podcast game and just long form content in general?
I think more than anything, I'm a consumer to YouTube and podcasts in specific. I just love and enjoy genuine and organic conversations, and I feel like I'm not sure if you feel the same way, right? But I feel like as we get older, we start losing a lot of friends. So having the podcast, it gave me an avenue and a resource for me to touch base with a lot of friends from back in the days, and we would be doing podcasts with one another. So it was a way for us to reconnect. But then eventually that started fading away, and it turned out to being more of an interview style. And now it transitioned into being an in-home kind of podcast with my fiance. But at the end of the day, just having organic conversations that we're able to document and share
Hell yeah.
with the public. Yep.
Hell yeah. I think that was crucial, like during the pandemic. Like everyone was at home looking for content. I was definitely watching podcasts before then, but I think I really like deep dived and really saw the importance of like conversations during the pandemic when everybody was talking about what was happening. And it was real interesting to kind of tune in to different podcasts to get different points of view, and just like staying at home, mask versus no mask, vaccine versus no vaccine. You get me? Like there were so many things, so many important conversations being had. And that to me is the most important thing. Like whether you believe one thing or the other is more importantly that the conversation is being had, and in a manner where it's not devices. You're not trying to get, someone to think one way or another. I just think it's important for us to just continue to talk things out. I think there is no right or wrong, but I think we live in a shade of gray. You get me? And you get me? We're forced to like believe things are black and white. Meanwhile, we all know, like, it's not as simple as it turns out to be. You get me?
Yeah, I agree.
But without getting too deep, I mean, for me, it's Ecamm. I know for you, you were doing things the original way, like ATEM mini recording from scratch. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was I the one that introduced you to AutoPod, or did you find AutoPod before I told you?
I think AutoPod, I discovered it from just online,
Okay,
online.
okay.
I'm sure we had some sort of conversation.
Because I remember when I
Uh,
first tried to sell you on Ecamm, I think I had told you like AutoPod is a nice like alternative, but like
right,
I think you were maybe playing around with it before.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the people that don't know what AutoPod is, essentially it's a tool and an extension to I think multiple editing softwares, right? But me in specific, what I currently do is use AutoPod through Premiere Pro, which you upload your footage, and then once you have it all synced up with the audio, you use this extension, and essentially it's going to do all the clipping to whoever's speaking on the camera. The camera is going to focus on that person, similar to when you're doing a Zoom meeting. Whoever's
Mhm.
speaking, the camera is going to focus on that person, and that's essentially what AutoPod is. So
Yeah.
it does all the editing, all the clipping for you.
Well, again, when we say the clipping, we mean like the switching of camera angles automatically. And if correct me if I'm wrong, you're assigning so like it's important to have like different audio files, and you're assigning audio files to a specific camera. And whenever
Yes,
that
sir.
audio from that mic pops off, it goes to this camera, and then you can create like a third camera angle, like a wide, where it's like, hey, if both these audio levels are going off, just go to this wide level, right?
Right, right, exactly. And you bring up a good point. I personally, for my podcast, I use three cameras, one for myself, the guest, and for the wide view angle, so you can kind of get a depth of field point of view and see the environment. So I do use three, and I have a demo that I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how I do my setup. And technically, you guys can use the same settings and take it from there.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So me, like I traditionally use Ecamm Live, and Ecamm Live is similar to that of OBS, but essentially it is a live streaming platform or live to tape. A lot of people get scared where it's like, oh, like I don't want to go live, but there are a lot of benefits of that live to tape platform where it reduces the need to have to edit in post and kind of do these repetitive tasks in my mind, whether that is switching camera angles, whether that is triggering your intro, which you're always going to trigger, triggering your outro, triggering your lower thirds. And it also allows you to do things like screen sharing and showing things. The only difference I would say between Ecamm, I'm just going through their website really quickly. I'll have it linked down below my affiliate link to Ecamm. And if there's an AutoPod affiliate link, I think Angel will also have his down below. Um, but the only thing, the difference with Ecamm more so than Autopod is the fact that you need to be present in the room, whether it's you doing exactly what I'm doing now and switching between scenes. You get me? There's a lot of behind the scenes, and I can even kind of show some of that really quickly right here, where like I have my switcher in front of me. I have the website, pulled up on my iPad as a secondary display, and this is what Ecamm looks like. There's a lot of moving pieces, um, but yeah, like it's much more of like being present when producing. And I think if you are doing things solo, it might even be better for you to use Autopod and with something like an ATEM and kind of switching it that way and just triggering those intros, outros in post. Again, they're just drag and drop.
Yeah.
But also, you get me. The other route is like potentially, I think you had tried this where it's like you could get Cello to kind of like come in and be your producer while you're doing a podcast. It's just a lot to ask for someone. There are a lot of moving pieces. And I think you understand as you take this live journey, like something always, doesn't go as planned. But the more you fine tune your templates and things like that, the easier it is to crank things out. And you'd be surprised how fast you can get long form content out. But then if like, there's benefits and negatives to both, I would say.
I agree.
Yeah, I think one thing that I don't like about Ecamm, and I hope that they change in the future, is just the fact that I can only record up to three angles isolated on top of the produced file. I wish I could record as much isolated angles as I have going into my computer, whereas like the ATEM allows you to record those four ISO. You get me?
Right.
Depending on what ATEM you have, you get me. If it's the Pro, you're able to do 4K. If it's the regular one, it tops you off at 1080. Um, but yeah, I think I mean there's so much give and take with that. I mean, for me, when I run like I have a client where I run a four camera shoot and I record the individual angles of the guest ISO, and then I leave the wide. Like I don't record it ISO. I just go to that when I want to. But if I wanted to leverage something like AutoPod for that using Ecamm, I could essentially just leave the production on the wide angle while I just record the other ones ISO, and then that allows me to have those four angles. But that's just like gaming the system. And then on top of that, recording your audio files separately allows you to then use a tool like AutoPod and kind of get away with that. But yeah, I'll jump into a quick little demo. Again, the goal is not to go ham and show you guys the nooks and crannies of everything. But yeah, this is Ecamm here. These are my scenes right here, where it's like I have, my starting soon scene. I have my, my individual. And when I click them, you'll see things, move on the right. I have Angel's scene. I have, you get me, our comments. No one's watching, but we will get people watching at some point. Yeah, my screen right now, my screen isn't showing up right now because I have that switched over. We have Angel's screen if once he has his screen shared, and then we have my phone share scene as well as my thank you for watching, which I won't get into that because that will end the stream. I'm gonna go back to the to the side by side right now so you guys get a better feel for it. But also I have my overlays here, and they're broken down into, let me this one. So they're broken down into things that you can show in all scenes. Like right now, I have my intro on this one. I have this drawing thing, which is for later, but I have, my lower third. So if I click the eyeball on here, you get me? They will both pop out there, and then I have them triggered to go away automatically, and they kind of just disappear. Usually, I trigger them manually by doing so on the on this bad boy here. Oh, what's funny is I just recently fixed that one, so that's why they didn't go away. But yeah, I have those triggered to key commands. And I think what's important to say as I pull this up right now in that little corner is that Ecamm is essentially nothing without the Stream Deck. Can you correct, like, am I right in saying that? Do you think so?
I agree. It makes a huge difference. Just it makes everything within reach, right?
Yeah.
And just by pressing one button, you're controlling the whole scene, the whole production, all within the touch of your fingertips.
Hell yeah. Yeah. And yeah, so getting into, we also have the things that you can show in your current scene. So right now I have like the divider between us. I can make that disappear, make that come back. And then we have like our backgrounds. And that's what I have showing when I go into like my other scenes when we do like my screen share and things. That's that background that's going in there. And basically, the fact that I have it here as show in background means that it'll show in the background for any blank scene when I start to do overlays. Other things that you get to do on Ecamm are you get to control cameras themselves. So for instance, like I have camera A here, which is me. We have our camera sources here on the right, and they have like the ability to do it by all sources or just by AB. I like to do AB because then it allows you to assign cameras throughout your scenes to A, and it's not like you going into every scene. All right, let me change this back to this camera, because sometimes when you plug things in and out of your USB port, things will show up in different orders. And these A/B switchers allow you to kind of, I know I'm always on the left and A is always on the left. So if I just change that source here to whatever camera I'm using the Osmo right now, it'll switch that across all scenes where camera A is. Same thing here, like I have my phone on camera A, so as I flipped it over, you see that that's my phone feed as camera C. I have camera D here as Angel screen because I see his screen from Zoom as a separate camera angle that I can kind of trigger in and do that with. But also you can play with these things. So you can do green screen, you can, zoom in. I like messing with this one right here where like I have the ability to zoom in. I'm zoomed all the way out. Now me is 0. I can zoom in on me. And then, on top of me still tracking myself, I get more out of my camera angle. Let's take that out. But also I have the ability to do more advanced things like add LUTs. So I could be shooting in log right now and apply a LUT to my footage. So for those out there who are like DPs or more intense videographers, you have the ability to really play with your image across all your cameras as long as they're all shooting in log. Something I haven't played with, but I hope to play with as I move to New York and, get to experience working with other videographers in their craft. But yeah, you also get the ability to mirror things, black and white things, fully, blur things out if you don't want to do that. Usually I do the blur for like my be right back soon scene, or it'll be my camera, but it'll be fully blurred out with text over it, where it's like, all right, they know something's still happening. It's not just like a be right back and you don't know. You kind of see the blurry figure step back into scene, and all right, it's about to start soon again. Um, but yeah, this is just a brief overview. You have your audio down here. You have Zoom integration, which I think is sick. They just added this recently, but they also have their other things. Sorry for the car in the background, but yeah, I don't want to get too deep into this. The dope thing is the fact that like once I'm done with this, we're kind of good to go. Oh man, I'm getting we will end in 10 minutes.
What the heck?
Yeah, I think it's because like it's as soon as we started talking. You get me? As soon as you hopped on the Zoom call with me,
Yeah.
that's when it started the timer.
Oh,
So here, I'm gonna let you talk, and I'm just gonna basically pay for the year. And I know last time when I was doing it, it just updated immediately. But yeah, I'm gonna put the camera on you, and
yeah.
I'm gonna go here on the browser. But I'll let you take over and kind of give your whole AutoPod walkover. All right?
Cool. Is my you can are you able to see my screen? It should be on Premiere Pro right now.
I'm not seeing your screen right
All right.
now. I think you got to share it on Zoom.
All right, let
Um,
me do that. Can you see it
there
now?
you go. Yes, I can. Hell yeah. So I'm gonna go on this real quick while you do that. Oh, you're good to talk. You're good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing is that you're not going to be able to see my screen, right? Or all
No, I'm
right,
seeing your
okay.
screen.
You're able to see it? Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so technically whatever you guys are seeing right now is I have, like I mentioned before, I do have my three camera angles, and if you're able to see, right now, this is the wide view, which I always put my wide view feature on the very top on my video number three sections. But if we were to blind this out, then you can see the guest, which I always put it on the second video file, and then finally me on the first file right there. So I have all the three camera angles from my podcast. As mentioned, I record everything into the ATEM Mini Pro ISO, and all I'm currently doing right here, I have all of my cameras added to the timeline. I haven't done anything to it. Now, what I usually do for this section is I record my audio separately um, through a Zoom pod track P4, I believe. And then what I do right there, I just add some additional video files and audio files. Um, I add that, and then I just drag those into the timeline as well. So I always put myself similar to what Chris was mentioning, that he keeps everything as A and B camera. I always do the same thing, similar to that, but here I like to say it's I'm always in video one, audio one. My guest is in video two, audio two, and I just drag those into the timeline right here. A video one. Okay, I got the notification that it's been
Hey,
upgraded.
let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Figure it out as we go, my G.
Yep. So audio audio one for mic one, audio two for video two, and then finally this is the very important one, is that I have the audio file where all the different production, everybody speaking, any sound effects that you added to your production gets added on the third file.
Mhm.
So technically you have all the video files and audio files here in the timeline now. So
Dog,
the next
hold on real quick,
Yep.
because like I want to give these people a better experience of what you're talking about right now.
Yep.
Is if you go, because you're using the Ecamm right now, right,
Yep.
to join in this call. If
Yep.
you do your live demo mode on Ecamm, I get to see your whole screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I go to your camera angle and you hit live demo mode, because I don't like there's a lot that you're showing there, and I really want people to understand like how
Yeah.
easy this is. You get me?
Yeah, let me see. And where exactly would I go on the
So on Ecamm, when you're selected, you go to options, and it's
Yep.
live demo mode. But
li-
for future references, I would say it's dope to like add it as a key command. It has its own key command on the Stream Deck.
Right. Okay, let me go ahead and do that. And
There we
okay, but
go, my G. And then if you just go into like if you bring Premiere onto that screen or swap to Premiere, I should be able to see it, right?
okay, yeah, should I do stop sharing on Zoom?
No. Well, let's see what happens.
Okay. Uh you can see that, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so now pretty much as I was saying, let me get this out of the way. Okay, so like I was saying, all I did was added all of my three video files and then all my separate audio files. One, audio one, myself, audio two, the guest, and then finally on the third audio file, it's like I mentioned, all speakers all at once, um, as well as any sound effects or anything that happened in your show and your podcast. It's recorded on that. The next thing we want to do is we pretty much sync the audio files and you select everything, everything syncs on its own, and
So
it'll be done.
that kind of
Yep.
question, like that would also sync up if, like, let's say someone's not using like a recorder. You get me? Like they're not using like a Zoom or some sort of like they're not using like a recorder, but they're recording local from like mics connected to cameras. When you click that synchronization, it's going to basically look at those audio files and sync them up, whether they started a minute or 2 minutes after one another, right?
Yeah, yeah. At
Dope.
at the end of the end, you're gonna be able to see the difference, right? Because what I do is, there might be like a few 5 second delay, and what I mean by that, it's maybe I hit record first on my video files on my cameras and then I hit record on my actual audio, so there's going to be a little bit of a time gap, and you can see it right now. Watch.
Okay.
As you can see here, it's not there was I started the audio first. Here you can tell there's more
So that's
audio
the
files.
Zoom right there, right?
Yep,
Dope.
this is my microphone, so I hit audio first and then I hit um the video next to record. So what I do is, and this is very important, what you want to do is you can't have audio files and video files separate from one another. Like it has to start all at the same wavelength at the same timestamp. So this is very important. So what I do is just drag it back to 0, and then I go all the way back to the very end of my video, and then same thing here. Now to the ending, I ended my audio file first. So I stopped recording the microphones,
Hmm.
and then you can see the video files was a little bit longer. So what I do, I just literally scratch that out. And here, since technically everything is synced up, watch, let me see. Let me give you an example what I mean by that. Everything should be synced up with good audio.
Hmm.
Uh,
And then
Live shot and the mediums
you're also
and my
muting the camera audio files too, right?
Yep,
You just
yep,
use them to
because
sync
if
right now, but then you mute them
yep,
afterwards.
and exactly. So that's a very good point. So since I don't, the reason why I muted the audio files from the camera, it would be peaking, it would be sounding way too harsh.
Yeah,
So
they're far away from the action, so they're just used to sync up the lips to sound and know that you replace it with the audio from the Zoom.
right, exactly. So what I do there, then since we don't need those files, I literally unlink those and we delete those. I just bring my microphones back up, and now we have good audio files with my video. And now this is where the actual magic happens. And all we do here is we go to our extensions window, extensions, AutoPod multi-camera editor,
Hmm.
and this is my settings that I do with this extension right here.
Okay.
This is key right here. So cutting method, if you do standard, you're not gonna have, let's say your cameras are gonna be cut, but then you're not gonna have the option to still see what was cut out of your video. So that's essential. You move it and change it to enable disable, so it still gives you the option to look at the other camera that you didn't select.
Yeah.
So always choose that enable and disable. I like to keep my cutting from one video camera to the other at a medium range, and then it'll tell you how many speakers. So you say, oh, it actually is going to tell you speaker number, um, that you have is two speakers and
Hmm.
how many cameras. So we select three cameras, and then audio one, it's always going to be myself. So I select myself as audio
So
one,
you're just
Angel.
typing yourself in. You're
Yep.
like it's important to label your audio files
Yep.
in Premiere in order for this to work because it's not like a
Right.
drop down, right?
Yep. So in video one, it's Angel. Video two is the guest, and then video three, you have to select all speakers.
Okay.
And what all speakers is when, let's say, if me and my guest were both talking or laughing, it's gonna select that camera, which is
The
video
wide
three.
camera.
Yep,
Okay.
video three there. And
So
then
why
okay,
selecting all speaker? That's a little confusing. Like if because you labeled your video three as is your labeled video three as all speakers?
no. So technically, this is just AutoPod's way of defining who the speaker is, right?
Hmm.
So since we have two speakers here,
Yeah.
it's audio one and myself, then the guest, but then there's no third speaker. But we're saying that we have three cameras. So essentially what it's trying to do is like, hey, what do you want me to do with video three?
Yeah.
So so for video three is when you hear like everybody talking, switch to that.
Yeah. I just like I saw you click the all speakers, but at no point did you like click like wide angle. That's why I was
Oh,
confused.
okay.
You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
It's because technically, yeah, all speakers should be all wide angle, but maybe it's not a wide angle,
Yeah.
right? And maybe you just want it to go to your
Is
video
there a way
too.
to do like a side by side where like you can
Yeah,
do
yeah.
oh that's sick. Okay, then in that case that makes sense there why you
Yep,
would okay, and you're making
yep,
your own camera angle at that point. That's
yep.
cool.
And then you just create multi-camera edit and it's gonna do its magic now. I want to kind of time it right now. We're at the current time right now, it's 8 minutes and 29. I mean, it's 8:29 p.m. So I want to see how long it takes for AutoPod to do its thing. It might take a couple minutes, so I'm not sure if you have any questions, Chris, that we can take while this thing is loading or whatnot. Then we
Uh
can go ahead and do
no
that.
no questions on my end. I think now that we've walked through it, you can exit your live
Yep.
demo mode so we can see your face and I'll just go to your regular screen share.
Okay, let me go to Ecamm.
Do you hear my son in the background?
Nah,
Oh,
uh-uh.
okay, cool. I guess I'm just hearing it in the outside of the headphones. He's screaming at the top of his lungs.
Well, you know what? Right now, if I go to like my camera angle, let me see how the heck do I exit this? Because I
So,
have Premiere right now.
just if probably go to the bottom menu and click the Ecamm icon so that your options menu, your Finder menu on the top is the correct one,
Oh, there we go.
and then yeah, just go options and then turn off Ecamm live demo mode. Just click the yep,
There we go. Yep.
boom, and now we're back to here, and I can go back to screen share. But we want to make sure that your screen share is actually the thing. So let me know when you're sharing that file over there.
Yeah. Let me drag it back down. Oh, it's not letting me drag it back down. Yeah, but it's because it's doing its thing right now. So everything is loading right now. Like
even
so
if
like I said,
you even if you like do like the whole four finger swipe.
yeah, yeah. It does like it literally does like a it
Okay,
doesn't let me do anything right now. I'm not
gotcha,
sure if you can hear that.
gotcha. Well, then do the live demo mode because I do want them to see
Yeah,
the
I'll
work of it.
if you want, I'll do that as soon as it starts doing it.
Okay,
It's taking yeah, I think we're so far like a minute and a couple seconds. So right now it's like going through all the video files and all
okay.
that.
Well, yeah,
It should take literally it should take maybe like 5 minutes at the very most to
yeah.
do all the cutting.
Well, I think no
Uh,
matter what, it's night and day to you going in there manually and clicking, all right, show this camera now show that camera, now show this camera, now show that camera. You get me? Like, it's
yeah,
more like it allows you, it does all that for you, and you can go back in and fix it if it ever needs to be fixed. And most times it doesn't need to be fixed. The one thing I'll say with Ecamm is like, there are some times where you need to fix things. You get me? Where like, you
right.
clicked something and it didn't, you get me? Like, switch over. You want me to go back to your thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So check this out. So now are you able to see that?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so a AutoPod already detected all my video files and and audio files. So started like kind of picking everything up. You can see it's loading there, and right there, it's clipping everything, all the
That's
different
sick.
video
Can you zoom
back
in
and
on
forth.
that? Because like
Uh,
it's crazy. That's
right there,
work right there.
right
That
there.
used
You
to
can
be
see that.
days of work for people.
Yep.
Like
Look, it
days.
just literally it's going through my whole production right there. And so far we're at 8 o'clock and 32 minutes. So and we started at 8:29 p.m. So it's been like 3 minutes and it's already editing. It's going up to like 20 minutes as of right now.
Yeah. That's love, man. This I'm sure this is like graced so well. You can see like the moments where you guys go on like tangents and talk
Yep.
versus when you guys go back and forth. You know what I mean? This is cool. This is really cool. See,
Yeah,
now this
this is
is something that if you wanted to do on Ecamm, like it's again me sitting here going camera one, camera two, camera three as like a full time gig. You get me? Whereas
right.
you could, if you don't have that person and it's not on you to like, it's not like you can multitask. You get me? Like for me, I produce podcasts where I'm multitasking and I'm not only, present in the show, but I'm also present on the switcher and doing things. This is for those people who just want to be present in the conversation and know that everything is going to be recorded and that you have a way to get it done that much faster. You get me?
Yep.
And now when
Yep.
you come into here, you just bookend it where it's like intro, outro. If you have your screen share, I'm assuming you would do that as a fourth camera, right? Or bring that in, you get me, in those
Right.
moments, right? How do you deal with
Yep.
that here, actually?
So what I do, I let all of this play out, right? Because technically the main thing here is for all the three cameras to be in sync. And once all of that is done, that's when I do my overlay camera. If we shared any sort of video or whatnot, that's when I bring it after the fact. Because technically I'll only be showing a couple of minutes of a specific video.
Yeah.
So there's no need for me to like include it into this editing process. I just do it after the fact.
Okay. Heck yeah. And then you
And you
have
can
your
see,
preset scenes or like templates for that doing the screen shares where like camera A goes to like, left, right, like similar to how I do my screen shares on live, right?
right, right.
Gotcha.
And so far right now, just FYI, we're at 5 minutes into doing this editing with the AutoPod, and it's almost done.
Yeah.
So you can see this is the end of the podcast, and it's almost there within like 5 minutes of starting
Can I
the
ask you
editing.
what's the accuracy level? Like, have you ever had to go in there and like, oh man, I didn't want to switch to that moment, or like it goes back and forth too quickly, or like, are you happy with it 100% of the time?
So not at all. I've never had no issues at all, right? And that's when you have to be selective on how you want to do your multi-shot frequency. And I have it set at medium.
Mm-hmm.
And what it does, maybe at times I'll shoot it to like the wide view, or maybe if the other person is talking for a couple seconds and I say something, it transitions there. I've never had an issue because at times it's important to capture the other person's perspective if they're nodding or agreeing with you. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just part of the conversation. And never have I had a situation where I had to fix the camera angle.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, I can tell you alone, like I've had times where I produce for clients and like they sound too similar and it's my first time working with them. You get me? And I'm just like, oh shit, like I went to the
Yeah,
wrong person type of deal.
right. And once again, I just want to touch base. We're at 6 minutes from Autopod doing his thing, and it's about to be done right now. So this is how I've been consistent with doing a one podcast a week.
Hmm.
Ideally, I could even be doing releasing a podcast a day if I really wanted to. But I since I do a lot, there we go. So
Hmm.
Autopod multi-camera editor has successfully completed, and I'll give you guys a little demonstration on how that looks,
Hmm. Could you
so you
make
guys
the
can
video
get a,
preview? There you go.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. So let me see. We'll go here at this section right here, and let me just mute this one and chicken. Once in a while, let me see. Chicken. Once in a while, I wonder why it's not playing. One
Could
second.
also be because you're doing Ecamm
There we go.
and this at the same time. So like it
Really.
could be like taxing on your computer, I will say. And I'll say I
Yeah.
would say I was gonna say that when you started it, like it could be faster if this is the only thing you're doing on your
Yeah.
computer.
I think it's doing it now. I think it was just loading.
Like
Okay.
that. Your daughters aren't supposed to be here to heal you,
Mm.
Oh,
or
that's
your
sick.
kids are supposed to be here to heal
Right.
you. It's not their job.
Yeah, exactly. And I
And
get
I stood on what you said because I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I was that for my parents. Maybe I was this, and maybe that Arya was put in my life to heal that inner kid in me, that inner child, and everything that I didn't get to experience in it. No, let her be her own person.
I agree because
It
even
made me change.
right because I received that message, right, that
Hmm.
my mother needed more of
Needed
me
me.
than
No, that's sick.
I
That's
needed
clean.
of her. However, at the
That's
same
really
time,
clean.
and you'll see right now when it goes to the wide view. I'm doing my best to help her. I'm doing my best to be the best son as possible. But even though I'm doing this, it's still not enough for her.
That's not.
So I have to respect myself, and I've even told her too, like,
That's
hey,
cool.
I'm doing this. Yeah. So essentially, that's how I'll pretty much do all the editing. And like I said, I think personally that let me switch to my camera right there. Let me end this
Um,
real quick.
options and that, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. The way that this was being cut, I think it's perfect. I've never had an issue, as you can see. It just
Yeah.
captures both of the people's expressions, and as soon as one person talks, it switches to the other camera, and I think it's perfect. And like I mentioned, this has helped me tremendously to stay up to date with one podcast a week. Like I
Yeah.
said, if I really wanted to, my podcast is done right there.
Yeah.
Right now, I just had to add my intro, whatnot, and it's uploaded to YouTube. Yeah, I get a little bit more fancy doing trailers here and there and picking reels and clips for YouTube, and it takes a little bit longer. But ideally, if I wanted this uploaded right now, it's done.
Yeah. No, that's sick, man. That's awesome. And I think like the beauty of both solutions we're showing is like, yeah, I mean, it's based on what you're capable of doing. You get me? Like we both presented like one man show systems. I think mine is definitely more like you have to be present or, at least have someone with you to kind of get the best out of it. But also there is a hands-off approach to mine as well if you wanted to like just record them locally, don't switch, just keep your fourth camera angle wide and then partner that with recording your audio local as well. And then you get me using something like AutoPod on the back end of that. But then you got to pay for multiple softwares, I will say. Um,
Yeah.
but again, like with the beauty of live streaming from Ecamm perspective is just the fact that, all of the things that you normally do are pre-baked in. You get me? Like this is not something you have to do in post. You don't have to switch the intro in post. Essentially, when you're done on Ecamm, it's like as if you went live. And just like when you go live, it's up in the cloud. You get me? It's already there collecting comments. People were reacting live. Same thing here. You get me? When you hit done, you'll get a file. And actually, that's one thing that I didn't show. It is like an example of what a file looks like. And I'll just go through really quickly for the client that I have, Dogs Gone Wild. Um, this was an episode we did, and essentially we have all of the angles here. This is what you're getting, and I don't know if we're seeing this. Yeah, we are seeing it. But yeah, so like I have like one camera angle for the host, one for my bad, one for the co-host there, and one for the guest, and then we have the raw switched file where this has me bouncing between, wide and then, doing the whole thing there. Yeah, I mean, we do side by sides, and this is stuff that like I'm sure AutoPod is definitely. I mean, you told me you could do things like side by sides in AutoPod, right?
Yeah, and the way I do that is what I do is technically I'll edit instead of my wide view, I'll get all the different 3 or 4 people
Mm-hmm.
and I'll put them side by side and I'll use that as my video 3 file. So whenever it
Dope.
says all speakers, I'll go to that one.
So just a little more work in the back half of just like creating that file where it's just like I'm assuming it's like another file where you duplicate all 3 video files into one thing, crop them the way you want them to crop, and then you can then assign that.
Oh shit. Like,
Like,
sorry.
shout out to him. No, I wanna go.
No, you're good.
I
You're
was,
good.
I was trying. I was trying to show you. My bad.
No, you're fine. Here, I can. If is it back on the other screen, and I can do your original screen share.
Yeah. Let me just 1 second. Let me go ahead and screen share if I can find Zoom. Yeah, but it does take a little bit. Like honestly, it took me maybe like an additional 5 minutes, but I would get the same feel as what you did.
Hmm.
Right there. Let me play this. Where's the Highness podcast? You've heard of Highness podcast?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So we did an episode together, and I used that technique with them.
Because there were like three girls and sitting in a spot where you usually have one person, right?
Yeah. So
Did you have
here you
multiple
go.
mics for them, or did they share a mic?
For two of them, they were sharing a mic. For the other ones, I had individual mics.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I might have to lower the volume. Okay, I'm ready to. Am I sharing it? How do I share my screen? There we go. Okay, share it. Cool. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I can. Let's bring it up.
Okay. Yep.
Shit like that, but not a narcotic.
Oh,
know
fuck! It
what
wasn't that
we've
one.
been told.
Right?
It is, but because the government and the society.
Did you not have a
has-
wide cam for them? If you had one cam on the two girls, and
Right, exactly. But
Oh, this one. I think it was this one.
anyways, the first
Oh, there we go. Right here.
I
You
think
see that?
okay,
there's
sweet. Oh my goodness.
800.
Damn, my daughter was
Or
so
what, like-
small.
Bro, time goes fast. Though. Like, it's gonna go by so fast.
But I'm like,
Yeah, but yeah, I get to do the same feel.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. But my face. But yeah.
Well, no,
So
I
just
think
different ways, and I think it's key for yours. I think I wrongfully said last time that when I said your way, it was like technically there's no editing, and you're like, well, there is, but it's prior. And now that I'm doing lives, I strongly agree
yeah,
because
it's just
it
that
takes me
pre-production.
it takes me about an hour. Ideally, I would want a little bit more,
Mhm.
but it's taken me an hour so far to go live with your format, I guess,
Mhm.
with going live,
Yeah, and
just having everything ready.
I think it's more so about like the, like shaping what the show looks like. And I think you're also understanding like the more you flesh out your templates and your profile, the easier it gets to, you get me, like you come in and things are just like automatically there. Your stream deck is set up the way you want it to be set up. You have your scenes, like I'm bouncing between things. You get me? Like I have these things on command. And I think it's more so like the more you get comfortable with Ecamm and your stream deck, the more the pre-production just becomes right now. What am I talking about? Gathering the links, you get me, and knowing that you get me. The workflow for me, like my workflow is like everything that I'm gonna show is gonna be on my iPad over here, so that I know when I share my screen, my iPad is the one that I'm like interacting with. And I would love for you to play around with that, like in terms of your Samsung tablet. I think that could come in clutch. Like if there's a way for you to see your Samsung tablet screen, you get me, where it's a different device that is running the what you're sharing. You get me, and it's not like you hopping in and out of menus. I think that could be like dope. Just because then it's not nothing taxing on your computer where it's just like, oh wait, I clicked the right key command, but I was still on Ecamm. You get me? And
Right.
it didn't forward me in a presentation or something like that. Usually I use my iPad as like the way to run decks and presentations and things like that if I'm doing a review. But yeah, I mean, both solutions we just provided, I mean, like there's so many ways you can come at it. You can use both of them together at the same time. And I think it's just more so like what the end user, you guys out there, is more comfortable with. You get me? Like I love Ecamm because it's you're one step away from going live and then really treating your show or podcast like a drop in a bucket. I think you and I both know you don't blow up the first 10 episodes unless
Not
you're
at all.
Hawk Tua. You get me? But it's just one of those things where it's like if you could treat it like a drop in a bucket and make it as easy as possible, which I think you've done. You get me? You're past 100 right now and you're monetized, and like it's because of that workflow that you're able to like be in the position that you're in, and you're crawling, not crawling, you're taking full strides and steps towards essentially reaching your main goal, which is replacing your income with YouTube. You get me? And having this
Bro,
be the main source.
it's
The
so
dream,
hard,
Manji.
bro.
The
I've
dream.
I've 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 heard of YouTubers that get thousands of views and they're making like $500 per episode,
Hmm.
and so I'm like, man, I'm not even close to that,
Dog.
and even
Yeah.
but even getting that money, like it's 500 per episode, they're making like 2,000. I'm like, there's no way I can retire with that money, man.
I feel you. I mean, I feel like with anything, there are ways that you can game the system and like
Yeah.
find the right sponsors and put the
Right,
right
right.
people in the right places to get those things done. I mean, shoot, like maybe it might even make sense for you to put like a job description out there where it's like you're looking for someone to really scale your show. You get me? Where it's like a commission based thing where it's like, hey, if you bring in a certain amount of money, I'll give you 25%. You get me? Of every
Right.
episode's earnings and things like that. Because you have the portfolio of work to kind of show for it. I think it's mainly about like having an offer around your podcast. And that's what I'm trying to do with Copy and Steal. And essentially with this, which is just like the offer, and this is a great segue, coming into it, where like for me, my offer is a live studio. You get me? Like if anyone is watching this and you're impressed by everything I'm doing, go to bookalivestudio.com. You get me? It doesn't have to, the revenue doesn't have to come in a form of, someone, or like someone sponsoring the show. It can come in the form of you generating leads to your business or to your offer. For you, it could be your micro content. For you, it could be the idea that you're creating micro content for that person joining your show. And I think we've already
Yep.
spoke about this. What's interesting is like, and I don't want to put his stuff on the spot, but like my best client, the guy who reached 100,000 subscribers, he took a sabbatical. You get me? He's taking a little break because he does have a full-time job. He is a CTO, and it's not like YouTube is going to replace his income. But it's just these things where he felt like he was caught up in the game. You get me? He felt like he wasn't creating for himself. And the reason why he started his YouTube channel about the Steam Deck, not the Stream Deck, what I'm using, but the gaming handheld, was because he loves the gaming handheld. And him as a developer, he was able to, backwards engineer it and get, the Nintendo Switch on his Stream Deck, stuff like that. And that's
Nice.
originally what got him into YouTube. But yeah, he hasn't posted a video in like, I want to say 2 months now, and he still has his subscriber base and things like that. And he's been on like other people's podcasts and stuff like that to talk about the Steam Deck. But yeah, everyone has their own journey. You get me? But I think we provided two really dope solutions here for anyone looking to get into this game and not have to worry about edit. Because there are a lot of people who think they're funny or think they have like an important message to say, but they don't see themselves as an editor. And I feel like we live in such a magical time where the barrier of entry for everything has gotten so low, including, you know, with the introduction of AI and now that new update for ChatGPT where it does image generation, which blowing my mind. Like there's starting to be no more excuses. You get me?
Yeah, and Chris, before we end this, is there any way that you can put me full screen? I want to show you
Heck
something
yeah,
that I'm
heck
going
yeah.
to be adding. I'm going to be adding this to my lives, which I go live every Sunday at 8 o'clock. And then we drop an episode, a podcast episode every Wednesday at 6 p.m. But this is something that I'm going to be including to my lives at the end of my lives. So check this out.
Oh, you animated that? I didn't know you animated that. I don't hear any audio. Have you not added audio to it?
Yeah, it's there. It's picking it up.
I'm not hearing anything on my end. Like I hear like it's something's coming up, but it seems like it's trying to be like uh like it seems like Zoom is like trying to echo cancel it out, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? But dope. I thought you just like created this as that thing to print out in the background. Is that what it is in the background, right to your over your right shoulder?
Yeah, right here, right there.
Yeah. Dope
Yeah.
shit.
So,
I had no idea
so
you animated it, but just tell me what the audio was. Was it just like sound effects coming in for everything that was showing up on
yes,
screen?
yeah. So actually, I'm not sure if it's going to be the same thing, right? But
Hmm.
when you play the intro, I can't hear the intro,
Oh, when I
and
play the intro of the podcast.
of this Monday Night Live. I can't hear it, so it might be the
Interesting.
same thing. When I was playing this, I could hear the alt system audio playing,
Okay.
so we might be able to hear it on the actual feed once we once it's
I
live,
hope so.
or
If not,
once
I
it's
was talking over it. But
yeah.
yeah.
But I was able to hear it, and I was looking at the alt system audio like going up and all that. But
Okay.
essentially, it was just like the laser beam and all that fun stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to animate it. I just asked the guy that drew it for me just to do everything separate in different PNG files, and
Yeah.
I had my editor just add a little bit of animation and add some sound effects.
Dope. I can't wait till AI hits that point. I think like we've got to the point of image generation. I want to be able to give it images myself and have it animate, or like, give it my logo and have me just be able to explain how I want certain letters and things to come in, or just like assign it to a beat. Like if I have a song, like, hey, for every drum hat hit, I want, a certain letter to pop out, things like that. Just as good as you could describe it is what AI kind of gives you. But yeah,
Right.
there's no more excuses anymore, man. There's not even for
Nope.
us.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you want to make something happen, you're gonna figure it out one
Yeah,
way or another. And if you don't want it, you're gonna put endless amounts of excuses.
yeah. No, I couldn't
You
agree
you
more.
you, you can record yourself with the phone at the end of the day. All of this is fancy stuff.
Yeah.
But if you really want to do things, pick up your phone, record, hit record and upload.
And shoot, there's even ways for people to do multi-camera shoots via their phone and iPads. Like iPhone came out with it the other day, where like the iPad can connect to up to 4 or 3 phones wirelessly, and do exactly what AutoPod does, where like you can switch from camera to camera wirelessly, all on the iPad, get all of the recorded files on the timeline on top of whatever the iPad is seeing as the wide angle. Like there's so many ways to do this nowadays. And I mean, shoot, we saw it the other day with the new Roadcaster, the video Roadcaster, how they have it built in now. You get me?
Yeah,
So yeah, there's so many ways. There's no more excuses. But yeah, man, I'll start to sign off for us. I just wanted to say, thank you for joining me on this episode. I know we took a little break last week. Your daughter was sick. I was, trying to create that presentation to pitch. And hopefully you get me, we convert on something. I'll talk about it with you at the end of this. But yeah, man, thank you for joining me again. You guys can follow us on IG, him at Angel Houseman, me at a live studio team.
yes, sir.
I won't do the whole Alive Studio. We did that already. I'll have Book Alive Studio down below. I'll also, I think I have my Ecamm affiliate link booked down below. If you guys want to try Ecamm for 14 days free, go try that. Same thing with AutoPod. We'll hook up with Angel and get his affiliate link down there as well.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, anything else you want to say?
If you made it to this point of the video, I just want to say a reason why I'm freaking yawning. I wear glasses for the most of the times. I get up like at 4 o'clock in the morning. So by this time, it's currently about to be 9. So I'm drained. So I don't want to look like a freaking zombie on camera. So that's why. But yeah, we're still up here doing, you know, put it in the work to make the dream work.
Heck yeah. Getting in the reps, getting comfortable on camera. Nah, thank you, man, for just joining me on this and taking the time out of your day. Hopefully you get me, I can start to put in the workflow to start create some micro content for this so that we can really push it,
Yeah.
get some more people in the room with us. But yeah, with that said, thank you guys for joining us on this episode of Monday Night Live. Peace, everybody.
Till next time.